my god. Hi everyone, 20th and E21 Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Snail Mail album, Valentine. This is the newest full-length LP from Lindsey Jordan's Snail Mail, the highly anticipated follow-up to her 2018 debut, Lush, a record that was certainly high on energy and piss and vinegar, thanks to its raw but approachable indie rock and pop tunes with a garagey twist. Not exactly distinct in terms of style and delivery, but still a solid debut nonetheless that had some decent highlights on it, and you know, it was pretty promising overall. Certainly something that made you look forward to the follow-up and fast forward to 2021, and we are here with the next full-length record. And I guess I can say in this relatively short amount of time, Snail Mail has creatively shown quite a bit of maturity, shifting away slightly from the simpler and rougher rock palettes on the last record, and now heading into something that's a bit more ornate instrumentally, slower, smoother, moodier, sometimes calling back to 90s singer-songwriter pop mainstays such as Dido or Jewel, but delivered in a way where it still has an appeal that will resonate with a Mitski or a Lucy Dacus type audience. So yeah, for sure, this new record is a different direction for Snail Mail, but the unfortunate fact is that even with this change, Lindsey still feels no closer to hitting upon something that is all that distinct. Also, in the instance of a few tracks, this new direction does expose some shortcomings as well vocally. On some of the most intimate cuts, such as Light Blue or C et al, or Circa, I believe the C is for Circa, et al, Lindsey hits some very awkward notes in some rough and difficult vocal performances. I think her performatively angsty singing on these cuts gestures toward melodies that would hit a lot harder if her delivery was a bit more impassioned or engaging. Her singing style even leaves some of the more eventful songs on the record feeling drab, especially during the verses, like the intro or Headlock. And this is despite Lindsey's lyrics having this potently obsessed and lovesick angle much of the time. Now, I wouldn't say this pretty short LP is completely devoid of highlights. Ben Franklin and Forever Sailing are certainly examples, though part of the reason these cuts work, in my opinion, is that they have these wonderful instrumental flourishes that reinforce the melodies of these tracks. Ben Franklin's wheezy little synth leads on the hook certainly make that pop. Even Lindsey's breathy falsettos around the bridge point of the song are a treat. Then Forever's groovy, sensual, and low-key beats, as well as rhythm guitars, have a distinctly 80s feel to them, which surprisingly is something that Lindsey plays pretty well into, not to mention that the tune is pretty solid overall on this one. But look, unfortunately, there are just as many moments on this thing that are profoundly uninspired. The song Glory, for example, sounds like if Phoebe Bridgers did a totally flat, bland indie rock cut. And I appreciate that Lindsey is able to tie up the lost love narrative that this record has going in the final two songs of the LP, but the singing doesn't really rebound on these tracks either. Really, this whole narrative in Valentine's breakup concept is the best and most consistent thing and focused thing it has going for it, because outside of that, like, the singing is a miss. I suppose the production generally is okay and very clean and balanced, even if it doesn't really have much in terms of personality. The songwriting is generally mid across the record. For sure, again, there are a couple of highlights that I appreciated, but even those cuts in the grander scheme of indie and pop and singer-songwriter music I've heard this year are somewhat average. Like, Ben Franklin, for as decent as it is, would maybe be like a low light on a Mitski record, like listenable, but there's certainly more superior songs on the LP. Meanwhile, on this record, like, this is some of the best it has to offer. I think a lot of this record, if you're into, you know, this very soft and contemplative indie rock and singer-songwriter style, is listenable. It's listenable, but not much else. Not much else. Feeling a strong 4 to a light 5 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Snail Mail, forever.